Good morning, Gizmos. We're really happy to meet you, and we'd first like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to lead eChatter. And we had a great experience working for the SmartMint project, and we are really happy that it turned out to be of great success. And you having appreciated and acknowledged our commitment and efforts towards SmartPin, and having given us this opportunity to run around another business like eChatter is something that we really appreciate. And our initial, like always, as we did with SmartPin, we first chose to do an initial analysis of the situation and the condition in which eChatter is currently existing in. And we've come across few challenges and few points of extreme encouragement that we believe we can utilize to overcome this challenge. So to start off with, we have few key challenges that we identified. Needless to introduce ourselves, myself, Adarsh, is Anaga, Bakhil, and Siripom. We are trying to reproduce our magic formula that worked for SmartPen with eChatter. Coming back to the agenda, we first identified few key challenges, and like with SmartPen, we've also tried coming up with our solutions to the same. And to ensure that we have a good working mechanism in place, we also have an overall plan of action for our plan of action. So one of the first things that we identified with this particular business is that there seems to be a lack of team morale, and this is a characteristic that we also found with SmartPen. And before we even started working on the challenges that we faced, the nitty-gritties into why things weren't working, we believe it is extremely essential that we build a good morale and we ensure that we all belong to the same family and work towards the same cause. So we took up this initiative to first build a good team morale, and to ensure that we start working towards this objective of ours, we plan, like with SmartPen again, we plan to exhibit and express authentic leadership. We wish to have a town hall session as soon as we start working, coming Monday, and this would help employees establish their concerns and also express what they think could be going right and wrong with eChatter. And we also want to, establish the fact that employees are our biggest asset. So town hall, basically, we just want to facilitate an open platform to hear out their grievances. Basically, it's an hear out session. And moving on to an additional point that we want to work towards to ensure better team morale is to set up a medium to listen to every individual employee. And by every individual employee, we really mean it. We want to go down to every possible employee and to understand how they have experienced working for eChatter and also for eWrite. And if possible, we will try incorporating as many social meetings as possible. I understand that with the existing work environment, it might not be very conducive for us to discuss all grievances possible within the workplace. So we wish to go out, and we do understand that it is a little time-consuming process. But once we get this right, I'm sure our subsequent actions will prove to be much more effective. So as I said, we have our team morale in place to move on to face our different challenges. In the lines of improving team morale, this is just an auxiliary point, so it's not of much importance, but we want to provide assurances. So while we provide assurances, we mean to provide a very tailored assurance to each employee as possible. So we try to again reproduce our SmartPen model that we used, and we want to be coaches, and we want us to be coached. So we want every employee to be coaching us, and we wish to be doing the same to them as well. So by ensuring this practice, we hope that a similar scenario is not reproduced in the future, and we all learn and we all work towards a great cause, that is to run around eChatter.
The next thing we would like to improve is the organizational practices, and for this we have come up with a few strategies. The first one is effective decision making. We believe it's critical that we resolve all the conflicts and make sure everyone's voice is heard and justice is provided. So in order to do this, we have come up with few points of action. Like, one of them would be to have an agile way of working, where the team leads would discuss together with the team as to how they could solve the problem. This would ensure that the whole team is on the same page and everyone's viewpoints is considered and they come up with a cohesive solution. And we also plan to have like a weekly inter-team meetings, like maybe between the product team, product design team and the development team, so that the team leads can share with each other their status and impediments faced by the individual teams, and the whole e-chatter in general would have a synchronous and cohesive idea of where the project is progressing. And the next strategy we thought of was having a team reorganization. So currently there's a lot of miscommunication and lack of coordination among the teams. So we believe having a good reorganization would help us solve this problem. And in order to do this, we plan to have like combat teams who would attack specific problems that affect these organizational practices. So let's say if 25 days were required to get our development schedule back on track, then a combat team would just take 10 days. And another way would be to co-locate the teams of related tasks at the same place, like having the product design team and development team together, so that any of the teams have doubts, they could just reach out to each other at the same moment and clarify their points. And as a means of improving the overall management, we believe it's important to create belief and confidence in each of the teams and between the teams too. We want to have a balancing act between micromanagement and undermanagement. We wish to extend as much freedom for them to express their natural ability and bring out their creative side. And we believe these steps would definitely improve the organizational practices in each chatter.
So one of the main challenges facing each chatter is a lot of our key workforce is leaving, and also some other workforce might also leave. So what we want to do is we need to find out what's the root cause of the employee leaving each chatter. We can do that by having a one-on-one interaction with each employee to ensure that each conversation is personalized, and we need to be as authentic as possible, and we need to try to state the purpose of this conversation and try to find the actual root cause of why they're leaving. And in order to do that effectively, we have to seek their view and also listen to them and try to understand them. In the case that their cause is that due to their dissatisfaction or their lack of hygiene factor, we need to provide them with extrinsic motivator, like giving incentive to their performance or provide the hygiene factor necessary for them. In the case that furthermore, we need to also add intrinsic motivator, such as providing them with a purpose for their task. They need to make sure that the employee needs to know that they are working on a project which can change the way people work and change the way people do things. And by conveying that, it gives them a purpose to do their work and be more motivated. Also, they need to be more, we can give them more accountability and more freedom. And also, apart from that, we can have a performance appraisal where we can track their performance daily, and then we can assess whether they're doing a good job or they're not doing well, so we can coach them in a timely manner. We also want to recognize their personal contribution, provide for example a monthly reward for high achieving employee.
Okay, so tying all of the plans and solutions that we just suggested, so as of now, these are the main things that we feel that main actions that we must execute. First of all, we need to conduct a thorough analysis to understand the current state of each charter. This promise that we just sent in front of you is based on our initial analysis. So we need to dig down and have a thorough analysis to understand the exact state of matters in each charter. We also believe that the success of all the solutions that we just had discussed depends on setting up of a transparent communication channel, and that is very important to have a free flow of thought, which will also result in setting up of a strong feedback mechanism. A feedback mechanism is necessary so we understand whether our strategies are really taking place in an effective way on the ground. And along with that, we feel that we must build trust among the team members. And like others said previously, having social outings outside of office would foster relationship building, which is really critical so that the team members trust each other and they are all on the same page whenever there is an adversity, and the productivity of the team eventually just increases. As Pong had said, that we have lost a substantial bit of our workforce, so we'll have to conduct a fresh round of hiring and we'll have to train them. Our very good smart pen employees, they could be coaches who can develop the new employees for our role. So I feel that all of these strategies are the recipe for our success, and these will turn around each other into a successful project like Smart Pen. We would like to thank you for trusting in us to give us the opportunity to take up this challenging project, and we would like to hear your opinion on our plans that we just discussed. So it was nice working with you.
And we look forward to turning around this business, and we aspire success, and we believe we have it in ourselves and in our team that we can bring success to each other. So thanking this opportunity, Anaka, Adush, Akhil and Silicon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.